Alright, today I want to rock the boat. I want to make a video titled, Will the Edmonton Oilers be in Stanley Cup contention this season? Something along those lines. Basically, can these guys make a run to the Cup this year, or is it all just a mirage? A McDavid draisaitl mirage, to be exact. Because here's the thing, here's where I'm at with this, okay? This is before the trade deadline that this is being recorded, and I'm hearing a lot of people say this is going to be a snooze fest of a deadline. But if you watch the Edmonton Oilers on a regular basis like I do, you're in either one of two groups. You're in the group that says, dude, when you have two of the best players in the world, anything can happen. Or you're on the other side where you're saying, oh, McDavid and draisaitl, they just carry the Oilers on their back, and when they don't get any help, the Oilers are not going to win. But the way I look at that is two things, okay? There's goaltending and there's secondary scoring. The defense is very good. Darnell has really stepped up to become amazing. So has Tyson Barrie. Those are your two rocks back there. Imagine if the Oilers had Clefbaum. That would be amazing. The defense looks a lot better than it has in previous years. But to me, the secondary scoring, some games, they can really help out. You look at a guy like Puljujarvi, granted, most of the time was with McDavid. He's hot and cold, but he's becoming a lot more consistent, using his strength, his big body. But a guy like James Neal, you needed more from him, and I understand the whole contract and everything, but James Neal has been disappointing this year, to say the least. So is Kyle Turris. Okay, there's rumors of him being moved, maybe, but Kyle Turris, disappointment. Edmonton was really hoping that he would be a good, solid third-line center for them, and he just hasn't been that. I'm also looking at guys like Tyler Ennis, guys like Puljujarvi, who are up and down, right? And then there's the Nuge, the curious case of Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Because of course, when you play with McDavid, there's some chemistry there. Even with draisaitl, there is some chemistry there. But when you ask Nuge to drive his own line, can he really do it? Because if Nuge can drive, let's say, a third line or even a second line, you're really cooking with gas there, and the Oilers look a whole lot better in terms of secondary scoring. Because I know right now, McDavid and draisaitl really steering the ship, maybe playing better than ever, okay? But how long can they really sustain that? Can they really win you every single game by scoring 4, 5, 6, 7 points in every single game? I'm not so sure. And that's where the other side of this equation comes in, which is the goaltending. Mike Smith has had a very good start to the season this year, but as I know as a Flames fan with Mike Smith, either he might get injured or he might start to slip off a little bit. Or maybe when you need him most in one or two playoff games, it's just going to implode. But the good news is Mikko Koskinen is no slouch. Okay, I know the numbers don't look great for him, but he's a good goaltender. He just got overworked at the beginning of the season. How many games straight did this guy play? He must have been exhausted. Must have been going to bed in a pool of his own sweat, man. Like, this guy was really working. So now you have two, I would say, decent goaltenders. They could maybe carry you, but there is the possibility that both of them kind of collapse on themselves, like they did against Chicago last year in the play-in round. And then, where are you left with if that happens? So that's the question for me with the Edmonton Oilers. But here is the kicker. The trade deadline. Yeah, that's where you see the Oilers. They're in on a lot of big names. They're in on guys like Jake DeBrusk, who, yes, he is slumping, but that's his hometown team. His dad covers the Oilers. I'm sure he would get up and be very good for Edmonton. They're also in on a guy like Eric Stahl from Buffalo, a good veteran presence. I think he would be a good addition there. And on the goalies, too. I mean, they just got Alex Stalock, who, look, he's not an NHL star, but last year in the play-in round with Minnesota against Vancouver, he was solid. So he could maybe help. If you want to keep going with that goalie carousel, you have 3 options instead of just 2 now. And look, there's some decent odds there for finding one guy who can take the net and play well. But yeah, if you don't feel comfortable with that, their name has also been linked to Korpisalo in Columbus, who is a solid goaltender. So there are options out there, because to me, I know it's not going to be necessarily a busy trade deadline, but Ken Holland cannot stand pat here. He cannot stay quiet and go with this exact roster, because I believe if he does make some tweaks and improvements here, this team has a chance to win, and they have a chance to go very far, but not as it's currently constructed right now. It's clear they need some extra help. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are the Oilers Cup contenders? What should they add or subtract from their lineup? Let me know in the comments. If you want more daily hockey content, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.